So I haven't looked at this product category in a while. Well, I don't mean the category like iPads in general, but I mean the iPad mini. There's a new iPad mini, new-ish. This video is not lined up exactly with the release of the product, but that's because I've been goofing around with it a little bit. I like the iPad mini, I've used it in the past, and then I was thinking to myself, well, this thing is powerful now, and it's a popular gaming platform, and I was like, wait a sec. What if I pick up a really old accessory from Sony and attach a Sony controller and try to make the ultimate portable gaming device? So what we're gonna do in this video is unbox all of the iPad mini variations, the different colors. I'm gonna compare the iPad mini to some of the larger iPad Pro stuff. And then I'm gonna connect it through this suction cup contraption to both PlayStation and Xbox and see if we have actually created the ultimate portable gaming device. So this model in front of me, I guess that's this one, which is open. And what do they call this color? Starlight? Is that really the color? I don't know, yeah. iPad mini, Wi-Fi cellular, 64 gigabyte Starlight. I think that's what they're calling this. Let me just remove that real quick. It's like gold. It looks like gold, basically. It's barely bigger than a phone. It's a lot smaller than an iPad Pro. I don't know. It's kind of confusing, but also I like it because it's so comfortable to hold. It's kind of the size of like a paperback novel or something. One-handed use is kind of possible for scrolling and improvements all around. I mean, basically it's the modernization of the iPad mini because it was lagging so far behind the design language and features of the other iPad models. All right, so this one's called Purple. I also noticed that's a cellular one. So you can, of course, get the cellular variant if you want to be connected all the time. This one is just Wi-Fi, so this is gonna be the more affordable option. Yeah, 64 gig base model is $499, and the 256 model is $649. So depending on whether you're in the cloud, how in the cloud you happen to be, or if you want local storage, $649, 64 gigs with cellular, $499, 64 gigs with just Wi-Fi. I think probably the entry level is gonna be the most popular choice. Well, let's see if Purple is better than Starlight. Ooh, you know what? Apple normally has a nicer slide than this. There we go. Okay. Ooh, all right. A little paper coating here for protection. Oh, seamless extraction. Well, this is definitely better than Starlight, I'll tell you that right now. So a couple differences between this and the iPad Pro models, which are the ones I've had the most exposure to. Here, we're gonna have Touch ID to unlock. Similar to the iPad Air, it's gonna be in this elongated power switch, which is at the top of the device. You're gonna have volume at the top as well. Presumably better speaker performance. I see a couple different grills, the modernized design with the symmetrical bezel all the way around, front-facing camera in that location, singular camera unit on the rear of the device. This display is 8.3 inches diagonally. Actually, when you hear that measurement, it's crazy how these diagonal measurements work. Like this is 11, this is 8.3, but like that's obviously way bigger, measured diagonally. And never mind if you go up to the 12 plus, then you're getting into laptop land practically. What do they say? Wide color, true tone, 500 nits of brightness, A15 Bionic chip. Obviously, iPad Pros have moved into the M1 stuff, but iPad mini, price point, A15, you're probably fine. Now, not a super exciting unboxing experience. I mean, you do get a power brick. It's a 20-watt power brick and a USB-C 2C cable inside of each package. All right, so that is your Purple. It's a nice, subtle, shiny, silvery purple. Next up, we have the most boring of the bunch and the one that I'm most likely to buy every time for whatever reason. This is the Space Gray iPad mini. All right, there we go. That's your comparison there. Space Gray is going to be the closest thing you have to black, although obviously it just comes off as like a dark gray, hence the space aspect of the grayness. The last one of the bunch is pink. My understanding is that this is going to be a somewhat subtle pink. I don't know though, could be anything. Yeah, actually, these are in the same neighborhood. And they just call it pink, not rose. Yeah, whatever, I mean, that's not bad either. We have some options to choose from. Oh, here's the other thing. So this device now supports pen input. or pencil, Apple Pencil input. Like the rest of the iPad lineup, modern iPad lineup, this can slap on the side. Look at that. Look at this little notebook. Continue, continue, done. I mean, that's kind of a nice little look to it. Little sketch pad for you. All right, so let's go ahead here and, do I have YouTube? I do have YouTube. I do want to hear how these speakers compare to the Pro model. The Pro model has some crazy audio performance. Given its scale, it sounds better than most laptops, actually. So let's just search up, wow. I can just write right in there. Let me see how well that works. Later. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I was writing it in. It was actually, did you catch that? It was very effective, even with my terrible all caps writing. Dave came on Lou later recently to talk about the news, things that are bothering him, not bothering him. It was quite fun. You can go check out that episode. Anyway, I want to hear how the audio sounds for watching an episode.
Okay, sure. Not to me, never. No, I mean, we're both a couple senior citizens on the internet. Absolutely, the internet years.
Up the res.
Sure, for sure. Experience.
I throw this.
I don't mind it. Yeah, but it has you. It
I'm watching. Look, I go on the couch.
Look on everything. So resonant on these headphones. Like my brain is rattling from that.
Sounds good, man. Especially in landscape because of the way that the speakers are firing. It's not iPad Pro level, but it's a huge improvement over the old iPad Mini, and I think vast majority of people are gonna be satisfied with that. The screen looks good too. I upped the res on the video. I mean, this is still so annoying the way you gotta do this now, as opposed to just picking the res right away. You gotta click through to advanced, it's like new YouTube stuff, and like, oh, do you actually want to use all that bandwidth? I'm like, yes, I do. I'm on Wi-Fi. I got plenty of bandwidth. Anyway, yeah, so the speakers sound good. I do also want to try out this Touch ID up top. So let me go ahead and just register my fingerprint real quick. So fingerprint is in there now. Let's go ahead and try that. It's lovely. Just rest. Look at what it says up in the top corner. Mo can pick it up. Rest to open. Just leave your finger there to open it up. I like this form factor. I don't know what it is. I have a soft spot for it. Popular amongst the younger crowds. Like I said about fatigue, like if I just open a web browser and maybe I'm just on apple.com. Oh, Apple's having a shopping event, Black Friday, look at that. So maybe I'm just over here. This doesn't have ProMotion, does it? No, it's definitely not ProMotion. It's such a controversial topic. People are like, who cares? I hardly notice it. Apple's implementation is like this dynamic one anyway that's constantly shifting. Coming from this Pixel over here, I notice it right away that this Mini doesn't have it. I mean, you make your selections value-wise. I noticed it straight away. Touch ID is cool, pencil input is cool, speakers sound cool. Form factor remains unique. There's not a lot of options in the category for this form factor. So for things like reading and gaming, which is the angle I took because I think it's a comfortable size for gaming, I'm glad that it exists as an option, especially at that starting price of $499. Now, as you can see here, I have a number of different gaming services preloaded. PS Remote Play, that's PlayStation's Remote Play. We have the Xbox app. We have Xbox Game Pass, that's separate, that's cloud gaming. I'm actually personally more interested in game streaming, like remote playing my own console is kind of cool on this device. So that's where PlayStation Remote Play comes in. And then also Genshin Impact, which Kirk put on. He says that's the hottest game right now. So everybody's been telling me, and that's gonna play local on the iPad. We'll see what that looks like too. But before we get there, real quick, let's check out one other tablet product, which is a totally different take than anything Apple is doing. It's called the Lume Pad. So today we're checking out something a little bit unusual, actually. This is a tablet that features a 3D display, no glasses or other contraption necessary. Just turn it on and look at objects, images, and video and Hollywood movies in 3D. Now, it's still a regular tablet. You can knock it back to 2D mode. It's got Snapdragon hardware. I mean, it's gonna function like a typical Android tablet. Lume Pad. Let's go ahead and power it up. Right away, I can tell something different's going on here. So let's go to LayTube first. Whoa, this is just streaming just a YouTube video in 3D. My truck is It's out of the screen. Okay, I'm gonna tell you something straight away because I watched a couple videos here on this YouTube. It's just streaming. Like you just give it the link and somehow it's doing the work. You can adjust the depth. It's a real 3D type of image.
Particularly futuristic.
I want to grab. It looks like layered, as if this the display was far deeper than it actually is. Oh my God, those grapes look. Oh my God, did you see this? Holy cow, that's the craziest one by far. Wave your hand in front of it, like as if you're gonna hit the pegs.
Yeah, it looks like it's coming out here. Like in my mind, it looks like it's coming out here.
Wow. All right, now there's also Hollywood movies. Obviously, I can't show you these currently because, well, reasons. Typical. Yeah, that's pretty crazy to see the dimension, in this case, of a human rendered model. Oh, look at this. There's some education elements too. Look at the definition on the lungs. Are you seeing that, Mo? Whoa. Leia Player and Leia Link that allows you to bring in your own content, images, and see 3D versions of it. The photo has magically arrived over here, and now we're gonna play with some of these 3D tools. So it's currently in 3D mode. I can look at it there. That's the regular image. And boom, there's the 3D. So this works for any image, no matter where you shot it. So there's currently about 100 available games that support Mosaic 3D. There's Leia Flix as well, so that's gonna let you watch Hollywood blockbusters in 3D. There's also gonna be a 3D chat app. You're gonna be able to chat with your friends and family in 3D, even if they don't have a Lume Pad themselves, and that's coming at the end of the year. It's a 3D experience, no glasses, but you still end up with an Android tablet that works in 2D mode for whenever you wanna just use it like a regular tablet. So that's the Lume Pad. Okay, so now we're over here near the consoles just to illustrate how this stuff works. There's one of the new Xboxes, we've got PlayStation 5 over there, and 3 different controllers. Now these controllers play nice with iPads for a while now. So this is a PS5 controller. You could use an Xbox controller if you prefer. Because of this clip that I was able to find online, because I wanted something that was big enough to accommodate an iPad. Because of that, we're using the old DualShock controller from the PS4. Sony put this out to work with Sony tablets and phones, so they went with a suction cup. Unlike a clamp, it can accommodate a much bigger footprint. However, the iPad mini is pretty light, so it kind of works well for this purpose. There's a little clip down on this side. Controller pops in like this, clamps down, and that's it. And then I was surprised at how reasonable this whole configuration is. Like if you're just sitting down like this, I guess you want to kind of have your hands resting on something. But besides that, you end up with this really big, vibrant display, Touch ID, like this. All right, so the coolest implementation, or like the most seamless app that I've used with this setup so far is PlayStation Remote Play. And that's why that's open on the TV at the moment. So you have to turn on Remote Play, enable Remote Play, and then after that, it's actually pretty straightforward. So you open the app, and this is my previous connection to that PlayStation 5, which is sitting over there. And you might be wondering right now, like, why would you want to do this? Okay, so the scenario here is that your PlayStation is in your living room, and you want to take your game, all the titles that are installed on your PlayStation locally, you want to take that up to the bedroom, to a more comfortable location. You want to take it to the couch somewhere else and continue playing. As you can see, you can do that. And now I am controlling my PlayStation from this iPad and using this controller, which is paired here. We have NHL 22, which is installed on that PlayStation. Get those nice speakers working.
The shooter. And he takes a shot. Oh, gets a piece of it with the glove. And that's off a stick. Brilliant save, running perfectly. Josh has got it near the point.
Weird. At first, it was like a little bit laggy, and then it really settled in now.
Nice pass.
Hey. No!
The Leafs will take it behind the net. Deflection. Nice stick save by the goaltender.
So currently I'm playing Zelda Breath of the Wild. I'm kidding. This is a native iPad game. I mean, you don't need a controller for this or any contraption like this, but it just feels so much more like a console substitute. Honestly, this is my first time ever playing this game, but it looks really good. Oh, more dudes to kill. The circle-only combo here is just demolishing people. Whoa. Whoa. All right. What's in this? What? Still more dudes? Oh, that's it.
Do you want to change it?
Too late. They're dead. Listen to me. All right? You are a mobile gamer, and you're always looking for that mobile gaming edge. There's so much versatility here, and you still get an iPad out of it. I guess the iPad is kind of pricey. It's like $500, and half of what I was doing was streaming off other consoles that are like $500. So that's not gonna be for everyone. But what I like about it is the versatility. So I can like pop this thing off, okay? I can play without a controller. I can just play the iPad like this, and it's a comfortable size and weight for gaming. More so than those bigger iPad Pros, even though those might be more powerful. They're not really the right gaming size. This is just one setup scenario we're doing with the old DualShock. So whether you want to play games in the cloud via the browser on here, or if you want to stream from your existing console, or if you just want to play mobile games that are iPad native like this one, but with more tactile input, these are things you can do with the new iPad mini.